So you are looking to do some beautiful day hikes in Japan. Well, I'm Amy and this is Roy.
Yo.
And we have lived in Japan for almost 5 years now and done a lot of hiking. So in this video, we're going to let you know about our top 10 day hikes up until now that we have done. As you can see, it is incredibly rainy outside. It is rainy season and the teru teru bozu that we made last video have not worked. So we thought this would be the perfect opportunity to stay indoors and let you know about these hikes.
In this list, we've each given a ranking to the hike. And it's based on a bunch of different categories, kind of like how long it took to get there, what the views were like, if it cost any money, and like just how much we suffered during the hike. We haven't told each other what rank we gave it, so let's kind of put our marriage to the test and see how in sync we are. And we'll also just be giving a bunch of good information about how to get there yourself, etc. so you can do it.
So we have been based around the Tokyo area for most of the time we've lived in Japan. So almost all of these hikes will be in that central part of Japan, besides a couple. So without further ado, let's get into the first one.
Mount Tanigawa. Pretty good hike in my opinion. You were able to catch a ropeway like straight up into the mountain, which kind of got rid of all that boring part of hiking through like the lower section of the mountain. And then you could just kind of enjoy a relatively short hike from the station to the top of the mountain, kind of through a little bit of forest, but then actually the rest of it was kind of quite exposed. All in all, it was pretty easy. A lot of people could do it. It wasn't overly challenging, and you got some like absolutely killer views.
So it's 5 hours return using that ropeway, and to get there you can take a Shinkansen from Tokyo Station to Domo Kogen Station, and then from there it's a bus to the ropeway station. And the ropeway, I believe, is around 3,000 yen per person round trip. That's going to be kind of a similar theme with all of these hikes. A lot of them have a ropeway and a lot of them cost around that amount. At Mount Tanigawa, you also have a point at the bottom of the ropeway where you can fill in a hiking record. It won't be like this for all of the hikes in this list, but at this one, basically you just fill in your details when you expect to return, and this is something that you submit so that they can keep track of, that there's no one having accidents on the mountain. So it's a good thing to do. There is also a hut at the top where you can get some basic amenities and food, and the area itself around Tanigawa is also really good because there's so much adventure things to do. There's a company called Canyons Japan where you can go canyoning, whitewater rafting. I believe there's even bungee jumping in the area as well, if you're very adventurous. So this leads us to our ranking. 3, 2, 1, S. Ooh.
Okay, it's up there.
Okay, so the reason why I said S was because it has such good access from Tokyo with the Shinkansen, and the views are very, very beautiful.
I gave it it was really up there because it had a lot of different interesting parts of the hike. There was actually little parts of chains, and yeah, as I said, the views were killer. But I don't think it was S tier because I'm just saying there's better ones. They're coming up in the video. I've got some S tiers waiting for you.
Oh, so we'll put that into the A tier then. Let's do that.
You reckon?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go on to the second one then. And the second day hike for this video is Senjō-jiki Cirque, or specifically to Mount Kiso-Komagatake.
Mount Kiso-Komagatake. Can't say it. Mount Kiso-Komagatake. Okay, so it's instantly like a C tier because of the name. Kiso-Komagatake was pretty awesome. It's another one of those ones where you catch not a Shinkansen to the top, that'd be ridiculous, but you catch a ropeway all the way to the top. And then it's so cool because once you get off that ropeway, you're just met with this wall. It feels like a Game of Thrones wall of ice, you know that, right? It's literally just whoa, and then the whole time you're doing this hike, you kind of just what's on the other side? And you actually do get to see what's on the other side, which is really cool. But because it's a wall, it's hella steep, really uncomfortably steep.
Just for an hour though, and then it's not too bad on the other side. But yeah, this one's perhaps a little bit more strenuous than Mount Tanigawa. It is only 4 hours return this time though. That's not including the ropeway trip. And because it's in the Central Alps of Japan, you can see the Northern Alps, the Southern Alps, Mount Fuji, It's beautiful. Really, really good views for this one. And to get there from Shinjuku Station in Tokyo, there's about a 4-hour train out to Komagane Station, and then you need to catch a bus to the ropeway station. Otherwise, there is also a 4-hour highway bus, which you can do roughly the same route. Again, the ropeway is going to be around 3,000 yen per person round trip, and there are a couple of huts up there as well. So if you wanted to make this into more than a day trip, you could do that too. 3, 2, 1,
Yes.
A. Oh!
What the hell? Why can't we align on this, man?
The reason why I didn't give this one an S is because it's a little bit more difficult to get to from any of the major cities.
A super duper important note to you guys, if you do want to do it, go on a weekday. We went on the weekend and we had to wait over 2 hours just to get on the ropeway before we even started this super long hike. If you have the opportunity, go on a weekday, please.
And that kind of goes for a lot of the hikes that have ropeways in this list. Definitely go on a weekday. So I think let's put this one in A as well, because there's still, I reckon there's definitely ones that will agree that's F later on. So on to the third one on this list then. And by the way, all of these hikes we have individual videos for, and we'll leave links to those in the video description so you can check each one out individually. But this next one is kind of in a similar area to Kiso-Komagatake. It's 1 hour away and it is the Nakasendo Trail. The Nakasendo Trail is this really long old road that used to go between Tokyo and Kyoto, and the part that's the most popular is just 7 kilometers, about 3 to 4 hours between 2 of the old towns, and it is beautiful. The towns are so beautiful, all of the architecture, like you get to really immerse yourself in history whilst also getting to be in nature as well. Really just the best of both worlds. So to get there, you can take around a 1 hour train from Nagoya Station up to Nakatsugawa Station, and then from there, there are transport to either of the towns that you can start from. For example, you can catch a bus over to Magome-juku and then start the hike up to Tsumago-juku.
So, onto the ranking.
3, 2, 1.
S tier. Yes,
Ooh,
absolutely.
we nailed it.
Yeah. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind it's S tier. It had to be because, as Amy said before, it's literally just like, it's Nippon. Like, it is Japan to a T, and you can just chain it together with so many good experiences, like staying at a ryokan in these like awesome towns and stuff like that. Anyone can do it. It's so easy, and it's not overly long or anything like that. It's amazing. Moving on to the next one, Honzawa Onsen, which is a hiking trail that goes to the highest outdoor onsen in all of Japan. It's a really kind of placid walk through the forest, which was peaceful and nice, but on that same note, you actually don't get to see out like to a bunch of beautiful views. And right near the end, near the onsen, there's like these cool little ryokan that you can stay in, so that's kind of definitely plus points. And then, as you know, the final destination is the onsen, which in itself is a big plus, but actually to a lot of viewers, maybe it's not a big plus because you have to go like pretty much naked. Well, actually you don't. You don't have to go naked. You can actually wear swimmers. You can do whatever you want, but you do need to be aware that there are going to be other people who are there who might be bathing naked.
It's mixed as well, so men and women together. So I think it's a really good one on the list because it's something a little bit different. Like you're hiking to something that is really part of Japanese culture, which is the onsen. And to get there from Tokyo, you can take a Shinkansen out to Sakudaira Station, our station. And then you can catch a local train down to Matsubadoko Station, and then you need to catch a bus out to the trailhead. So this one is one of the least accessible on this list, and it's probably better if you had a car to go to it. Now, for the ranking.
3, 2, 1, C!
Oh!
Yeah, the getting out there has to just take off so many points. And then, as I said before, an onsen may be a good point for people, but it may be an uncomfortable point for people. So maybe it's not that big treasure at the end of the hike.
All right, let's do C then. Okay, let's go on to the next one then.
And moving on to the next one is Mount Oyama. It is a 3-hour return hike, which is off into the mountains west of Tokyo. I found it really cool because right when you start this hike, you kind of go through this passageway of little Japanese stores selling all these cool little trinkets and nice little foods.
Yeah, that was lovely. And then you go up a ropeway and then you start the hike. And you can see Fuji from the top. So this one and the next one that we're going to list are both on this list because of that, the Fuji views. And to get there, it's really quite accessible from Tokyo. So it's about a 1.5 hour train ride from Shinjuku to Asahidake station on the Odakyu line. And then you catch a bus up to the ropeway station. So really quite nice, quite easy to get to.
One big plus point of Mount Oyama was as soon as you get off the ropeway station, you come out to this temple. And it's really awesome because it's this mixture of like hiking as well as like traditional Japanese culture. Super cool.
So shall we give it a ranking?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1,
C.
A. C? That's so low.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because in order to see Mount Fuji, you need a really clear day, right?
Yeah.
And you mostly only get those clear days when it's winter. And when it's winter, unfortunately, all the nature's dead. So you're kind of just walking through these dead trees. And sure enough, you get to the top and it's a beautiful view, but come on, give me the nature, you know what I mean?
So maybe we should go B for this one then, to pan out between A and C. Is that okay for you?
If you wish.
Okay, all right, B for Mount Oyama. So the next one is Mount Jinba, and it's in the west of Tokyo, and it's an alternative to a really popular one called Mount Takao, but this one you actually have a lot better views. It's about 3 hours, 4 hours return. It's quite good. So to get there, it's relatively quick. It's a 40-minute train ride from Shinjuku station out to Takao station, and then a 40-minute bus out to Jinba Kogen Shita bus stop. And then you can just start hiking from there. And another good thing is there's a couple of like tea house huts at the summit of the mountain, so you can get some like soba, udon, some drinks.
I'm just gonna go ahead and blurt out my ranking. C. It's another C from me. And the reason for that, and it's kind of similar to why I gave the previous such a low ranking, it's these day trips from Tokyo are more exhausting than you think. 40 minutes out on the train, up a mountain, down, onto the train again and back into Tokyo. Like, you are quite exhausted, and especially because this one goes past the same train line that Mount Takao goes on. Likely you might not get a seat because Takao is so busy, and if you do all this hiking and you have to stand for 40 minutes back into Tokyo, super exhausting.
I agree. So I gave this an A. I just checked my list and I gave Mount Oyama a B, the last one actually. Okay. So let's rearrange this. I think we should give Oyama C tier and then Jinba B tier. Because I do think that Mount Jinba, it's like, I think the view at the top of Mount Fuji is quite a bit better.
And the seating was nice. Being able to, because of all that, those tea houses and restaurants, you could just sit and look out. Really nice.
All right, so we've come to a nice, fair conclusion.
The marriage survives. Moving on to the next one, it is Happo-ike, which is in the Hakuba region, which is also a very popular town with Australians. There's tons of English support in the area. Once again, it's one of these ones where you start with a cable car going from the bottom to pretty much halfway up the mountain, and then it's a pretty rugged hike from the top of the ropeway to the destination, which is this beautiful lake, which at sometimes is just like super clear, super flat, and you can see this beautiful reflection of all the surrounding mountains. It's super awesome. I can't remember how long it took though.
It wasn't that long. It was like 3 hours return. Why would you describe it as rugged?
I just feel like it was such like rocky outcrops like the whole way. I just remember lots of rocks.
Okay. It wasn't too bad. There was like some boardwalk sections as well, I remember.
Yeah, actually you're right. Yeah.
To get to Hakuba, you can take either a direct train from Shinjuku station in Tokyo for 4 hours out to Hakuba station, or you could instead do a Shinkansen from Tokyo station out to Nagano station and then catch a bus for about an hour out to Hakuba. That one will take you about 3 hours all up. And then from Hakuba station, there's just about a 5-minute bus out to close to where you need to be, and then a 15-minute walk to Happo-ike gondola.
Go ahead. What's the rating?
Oh, S.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Like, I would give this double S tier if I could.
Is that a thing?
No. The views were insane. The down points is kind of like you know, there's not much more to this than just the hikes and the good views, which are double less views, but there's no like food, there's no culture, there's no shrines, it's just beautiful hiking.
And that brings us on to the next one, which is Tsugaike Nature Garden, which is in the same area of Hakuba, and it's a very similar way to get there, get to Hakuba, and then catch a 30-minute bus out to Tsugaike. And again, then you need to catch a gondola and a ropeway, and it's about 3,700 yen per person round trip, I believe. And then it takes you up to this beautiful, this beautiful area. It's so lovely, and it's like all boardwalks, really, right? And you can do what you're up to, really. So like an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours return.
It's kind of awkward. She's hyping it up, but I'm about to like, yeah, yo, it was easy. Anyone can do it because of the boardwalks, but it really did just feel like a bushwalk, really, because you really are in the scrub. I'm sorry, that's why I'm giving it a C tier.
Are you really?
It was chill. It was nice.
Whoa.
But it's like compared to all the other ones on the list, I'm sorry, but like.
Should you go back and watch our video again?
I watched it. It was a fantastic video, but like it was chill. Like because Happo-ike just shone so bright.
I gave it S.
Whoa! That's literally the opposite side of the spectrum.
I gave it S because I think, as Roy's saying, if you're into like these dramatic mountain views, Happo-ike is better. But I think if you're into more of the like seeing the different like fauna and flora, because it is in this kind of marshy type area, and so it's not just beautiful views, it's beautiful views but also like a lot of beautiful foliage. I honestly wouldn't go lower than an A.
Wow, well I'm not going to go higher than a B, so I guess the video's over. Thank you so much for watching. The marriage is over as well.
I don't think it deserves a B, if I'm being honest. Let's put it in an A.
Yes, honey.
A for Tsugaike.
No comment. Let's move to the next one. Next is Asahidake, which is actually super cool. It is a volcano in the middle of Hokkaido in a national park called Daisen. It was a really unique hike because it's a volcano, right? So you're walking up through this very exposed kind of rocky terrain, slippery volcanic rock terrain. It honestly feels kind of like you're hiking on Mars, to be honest. So that's like definitely a plus point, but also because it's in the middle of Hokkaido, it's pretty hard to get to, although it is just a beautiful national park all around.
Yeah, so to get there to Hokkaido, you need to go about a 1.5 hour flight from Tokyo. You can go up to Asahikawa, which is a nearby city, and then you can catch a 1 hour, 40-minute bus out to the ropeway station, and then it's like a 4 or 5 hour return trip up to the top of Asahidake and then back again.
But it was a very hard trip. That's something that we really need to take into consideration. It was probably on this current list one of the hardest ones we've done, the most physically strenuous.
Yeah, I don't know if that's because we're just out of shape at that time though, or maybe it was the volcanic gravel made it quite difficult to walk on.
It's that, and it's also in combination with the fact that it was just genuinely steep.
Yeah, that's true. So in terms of the accessibility, as Roy said, it's in Hokkaido, which is really far away, but I think that if you're someone who is like us and loves outdoors, loves nature, then Hokkaido should be on the top of your list for a trip to Japan, because it's, you know, the big island at the top of Japan that's just full of animals, hiking, mountains. Whoa, it's so good.
Big agree. So because of that, I have given it
3, 2, 1, A. Oh, why did you give C to so many of them?
Because, hear me out here. I gave it an A, probably for the same reasons as you. It's fantastic. If you're going to Hokkaido, it's going to be fantastic. You can chain it together with a bunch of different great experiences, outdoor experiences. But the reality is that this video is about hiking in Japan, right? And for most people coming to Japan, Hokkaido is just too out of the way. So because of that, I just have to drag it all the way down.
Okay, well, I think we need to do B because...
I'm happy with that. Yeah, I can settle with B for sure.
All right, then the next one is one that's also a little bit further away, and it is Mount Daisen, which is down in Tottori Prefecture. So if you're going to places like Osaka, Hiroshima, this is nearby to there.
This hike especially was super beautiful. You start off in this beautiful, luscious nature where there's actually a bunch of like shrines and temples, and then you just continue up the mountain and you just get to see over these super fast stretches of like fields, and usually there's lots of clouds as well. You can actually get quite up above the clouds. It's a long one though. It was a 6-hour return trip, I believe.
5 to 6, yeah.
Yep, 5 to 6.
In the footage that you see on screen now, we did it in the start of May. So it did have a little bit of snow and ice still on the top, which is a really good time to point out that the hiking season for a lot of the taller mountains in Japan is from around June, July until maybe getting into October, maybe November. So you need to plan that for your trip. Some of the ones that are near Tokyo, they're fine year round, but a lot of these ones that are in the Alps that need a ropeway to get to, the ropeway doesn't even go in the off season in winter time. So do keep that in mind. And then ones like Daisen that you can go year round, it will have a lot of snow at the top, especially in winter. So for Daisen, to get there, you can go from Shin Osaka Station to Okayama Station on a Shinkansen in 50 minutes, and then you take about a 2-hour 15 bus up to Yonago Station, and then an hour bus out to Daisenji Temple. So this one is quite far out of the way from like the main tourist track. The prefecture of Tottori that it's in, it's very beautiful again for like adventure lovers, right? You've got Tottori sand dunes, you've got this amazing temple that we did a hike in where you like have to use chains to go up to it, and it's very beautiful. But it would probably be better if you had a car. So I guess that leads to the ranking then.
The last one of the video.
3, 2, 1, B.
Yeah,
Last one.
Awesome.
Nice, yeah. I think if you had a car, for a lot of these, we should say if you have a car, it is a lot easier than public transport. So that gets to the end of the 10 hikes that we recommend for day hikes in Japan. We have quite a lot of other hikes, like videos that we've done. So like check out the hiking playlist that we have. You might find some more in there. And well, I guess for the next video, we're wanting to show off our daily life out in the countryside here.
Yeah, if it stops raining.
We can do that inside. As you can see, we have a nice couch that we have in our house now. So that's really lovely. We don't have that much on the furniture yet, but we'll show you in the next video.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next one.